Vaping. When you hear that word, what comes to mind? Are you for vaping or against vaping? Take a moment to think which side you're on. If you're for vaping, that means you must think it's cool and it has positive effects on life. You think it's great, relieves stress, many reasons why you probably think it's great. If you're against vaping, then you think it has negative effects, causes sickness, brain damage, lung damage, and even gets you closer to death. If you're for vaping, maybe I can convince you to be against it, give you some reasons why you shouldn't be pro-vaping, and why it has such negative effects on us. Just think that every puff of nicotine gets you 6 seconds closer to death. People need to understand that e-cigarettes are potentially harmful to your health. Quote from Balaha. Today, I will be discussing the topic of vaping, and how and why it's harmful, reasons you should quit, and ways you can quit. Now, in what ways is vaping harmful? There has been an outbreak of lung injuries and deaths associated to vaping and vapor products. As of January 21st, 2020, the CDC confirmed 60 deaths from vaping and e-cigarette usage containing nicotine. The CDC recommends that you do not use any THC-infused vapor products, avoid using informal sources, and do not modify any e-vapor vape cigarettes. Vaping causes you to crave the need for nicotine. It causes an addiction in your brain and tells your brain that you need to have nicotine. It gives you bad withdrawal symptoms that are very dangerous. Nicotine is a toxic substance. It raises your blood pressure and spikes your adrenaline, which increases your chance of a heart attack and a stroke. The likelihood of having a heart attack if you're a smoker is much higher than non-smokers. Data suggests the links between chronic lung disease, asthma, and cardiovascular disease. You're exposing yourself to all kinds of harmful chemicals, some of which you don't know and some of which you are aware of. Both e-cigarettes and regular cigarettes contain nicotine. Research suggests that nicotine can be just as addicting as heroin and cocaine. In 2015, the U.S. Surgeon General reported that e-cigarettes used among high school students had an increased by 900% rate. That's 40% of young users of e-cigarettes who never smoked tobacco before in their life become addicted. So why should you quit? After explaining all the harmful effects that vaping has on someone, here are some reasons why you should quit. There's a strong link between smoking and cardiovascular disease, and smoking and cancer. But the sooner you quit, the better off you can be. It's never too late to quit. 2,633,000 smokers in the U.S. have chronic bronchitis from smoking, or suffer from other lung injuries due to the nicotine that they are inhaling. Every day, about 2,100 teens become addicted to nicotine, whether it's e-vaping or cigarettes. Typically, youth are more likely to become addicted to vaping and e-cigarettes because it has a more intended appeal for the younger audience with flavored juices, fun packaging, cool colors. It pulls in the youth and wants them and tries to get them to buy them. Methane is found not only in nicotine and cigarettes, but in dog poop. Gross, right? Why would you want to be smoking that? 384,000 current smokers in the U.S. have had a stroke due to smoking. So because of the fact that they have been inhaling nicotine, it's caused them to have a stroke and even heart attacks. I've had several family members have lung-related injuries and cancer due to nicotine and smoking. I've known many people who I've lost due to heart attacks and strokes because of smoking. Now, I'm sure everybody knows of someone who is a smoker or a vapor, or who has died of a heart attack or a stroke that was a smoker or a vapor. Now, the question is do you want to go down that same path they did? Do you want to die the same way? Do you want to be closer to death just because you need to smoke? Nobody needs to do anything. You don't need to smoke. You don't need to vape. You don't need the nicotine, but the nicotine has an addictive chemical in it that causes you to think that you need it. But in reality, you do not. Although you can suffer many withdrawals when you are not smoking, you're better off going through the withdrawals and finding other ways to deal with addiction. Now, personally, I have bad lungs and a weak immune system, so I cannot smoke or vape or do any of that. If I did that, I'd potentially be killing myself way faster than most people. So what I like to say to people who smoke or vape is that you were lucky enough to be given a good set of lungs, a good pair of lungs. Now, why are you wasting it on vaping and smoking? Because if I was given the opportunity to have perfectly good lungs as you do, I know I would not be wasting it on nicotine. Now, are you convinced that you should quit smoking or someone you know should quit? If you are, here are some questions that you should ask yourself. Is vaping controlling my life? How does vaping affect the way I feel? How does vaping affect relationships and my personal life? How does vaping change my thinking and my thoughts about things? Are there activities I can no longer participate in because I am a smoker? Are there things I'd wish to participate in, but I can't because I'm a smoker? What am I looking for? And what am I looking forward to once I quit? If you can answer any of those questions because you're a smoker, think for a minute of the ways that it affects you, affects others, and things that you can do if you quit. Now, here are some ways that you can quit. First off, physical activity. Physical activity is one of the number one ways that you can crave or get rid of the craving and the addiction of nicotine. Whether it's a simple walk or a run, or you're playing catch or frisbee, anything the physical activity gets your adrenaline pumping, your heart rate up, and gives you that same feeling of needing something, and it infects it. It is a natural endorphin boost, so it makes you feel the same way that you need to when you're smoking nicotine. Now, using a distraction too, whether it's a puzzle or a video game or simply just talking to somebody for hours, something to distract you from needing the nicotine. Find ways to manage your stress. So if you find yourself stressed out and that's why you're smoking, find ways that can relieve that. Whether you think physical activity is a good stress reliever, meditation or yoga or art, anything that you find relieves your stress, find that and do that and see if that will help. Set goals of how and why you want to quit. So think of reasons why you would like to quit, how you can quit, and how much money you can save from no longer vaping. Maybe calculate how much money that you would be spending on vaping and nicotine or e-cigarette products. Save that money and put it towards something you really want or something you really like to do. Then maybe that'll help motivate you to quit smoking. In conclusion, my topic was about vaping. I talked about why it's harmful, how it can harm you and others around you, ways you can quit, why you should quit. So do you really want to be amongst those numbers of deaths in America due to vaping? Thank you.